All right, today we are joined by Kassia Barbo, a DIY hair content creator and influencer on Instagram. She is a self-taught DIY hair and beauty content creator and is not a professional hairstylist, but that has not stopped her from sharing her passion for hair with the world. She shares her knowledge and skills through creative and informative videos, tutorials, and photos. From braids to voluminous pixie styles, Kassia offers a wide variety of hair inspiration and tips for her followers. With her easy-to-follow tutorials, and I've watched quite a few, and relatable approach, she has quickly become a go-to source for short hair inspo and advice. And I must say, stunning, striking. I love the look. I love the hair.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And wow, that is such a compliment.
All right, so we're going to get into it. We're going to talk a little bit about your background, your journey, all of your inspiration. So to kick it off, I mentioned in your bio that you are not a pro. You look like a pro. How did you learn to do all of the pro things that you're sharing with us?
So honestly, I have always been big about doing my own hair. This is something that has come easily to me since I was a kid. From a very young age, I was always fascinated with beauty and hair, and I changed up my hair as early as grade school. So this is not something that I just recently started doing. I went to a Catholic school where you could only have the uniform, you could not wear makeup, and really doing my hair was like my creative outlet. That was the way that I could be different than everybody else. And I would have like my mom or my sister braid my hair the night before or put my hair in hot rollers. And I would go to school the next day and just be somebody completely different. And so I've been doing it forever. And also I grew up in the salon industry. So my mom is a nail technician. She's now retired. She had her own nail salon for years. And I was there. I was at her salon every day after school, serving coffee, making sure the cookies are out, filling out nail polish bottles. And I was around that environment constantly. So I grew up in that.
Wow. Okay. So we have something in common. My mom was a hairstylist and salon owner for 40 years too. And so I would walk there after school and do the same things. Like if there was a customer there that wanted me to run over to the grocery store and get them a sweet treat or would give me a quarter for a soda too, I was there and I loved it. And I think something about that becomes part of your ethos and your soul, right? You're walking
Absolutely. And a lot of these women that were there were standing clients of my mother's. Yeah. I mean, they were loyal and they went to her for years and they really just became like secondary mothers to me. You know, I enjoyed going in there and seeing them every week and catching up with them. And they watched me grow up, and still to this day, some of them that I keep in touch with, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at you now.
That's amazing.
It's great.
So with that start, did you think that your path was beauty from a very young age?
I've been back and forth with so many things. I always knew that I enjoyed it. I watched my mom struggle a lot because my father passed at a really young age. He passed when I was 10. And at that point, my mom was really struggling to keep the business afloat. And so eventually she did have to shut down the doors. And so she started working for somebody else, and it became something different at that point where I seen that there was so much struggle with it. And I kind of was afraid. And I thought, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could go through what she went through. But just because she struggled with it now, knowing, hindsight is 2020, knowing that, it's like, of course I could have done something with it. But I think I was afraid of going into the beauty industry because I didn't want to struggle the way that she did.
Got it. So that path did not lead you to cosmetology school, but did you think about it at some point?
I did. I actually went in high school. I started working really early. College was not an option. I was not a scholar, so there was no way I was, getting a scholarship. And I started working at retail. And then I thought, oh, well, I could probably go to cosmetology school. And then I went and toured the school. And then when it came down to getting the loan and all of it, we couldn't afford it. And so I was like, okay, going back to work, but going back to what I know. And I stayed in retail for a very long time, till my late 20s and sales. And so I've always been really good at, talking with people. And I love that part of it. but I could not stand retail itself. And I really got to the point where I just decided I needed to do something different. And I got into massage therapy.
Okay.
Because I figured it's the salon spa industry. I'm familiar with it. It's different than doing nails or hair. I don't have to talk to people. I can actually be quiet, but I can still have this setting, this spa setting. And so I went to school for it. And I was a licensed massage therapist for 8 years.
Okay.
And I had both my children. And during that time, I also was massaging like 8 months pregnant with both kids.
And on your feet, right? It's grueling. Yeah.
It takes a lot on your body. And that's something that I was not aware of. And honestly, it doesn't matter what you do, hair, nails, massage, all of that. It takes a toll on your body. The people that I would get like as a massage therapist that would come in and see me, the hairstylists are always the worst. The shoulders and the tension and constantly having your hair up and being on your feet for hours. I mean, this line of work in general is just a lot. So I just eventually, I didn't want to do it anymore because I felt like there was a lot of energy also being drained from just like being with these people day in and day out. And that takes a lot on you as well. So during that time, I was already starting to post to Instagram. Because hair was always my passion, and really just doing it on myself is my passion. Like, let me correct myself, because a lot of people will ask, why aren't you doing other people's hair? And I don't have the desire to work on someone else's hair. I enjoy being creative and expressing myself that way. But I think if I actually started working on other people, it would just take that joy out for me.
Okay.
And so I have started posting on Instagram, and people would ask, who did your hair? How did you do that? How are you always changing your hair? And so I just decided to start posting about it. I'm just going to post a video, and it's a hair tutorial and whatever. And like, I can just direct them to that and say, hey, check me out on Instagram and you can see exactly what I did. And that kind of just was a snowball effect. But it was because I enjoyed doing it so much that I feel like it's sort of led me now to where I am today.
Amazing. Do you remember that first post, that first tutorial?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It was probably, I don't know, it was like right after I had my kids. And I know that I was definitely struggling as far as like image and everything goes. And it's right around when I cut my hair short. Okay. So I just wanted to do something different.
Okay.
And I was like, I've done the long hair, I've done the tape and extensions, like what else can I do? And it wasn't until I shaved half of my head off into an undercut that I was like, I feel amazing. Like, this is great. And I really just, I felt like I found myself a little bit.
Cool.
Because it just was a different way to express myself. And people took to it too. Some people didn't. Some people did.
Right.
That's always going to happen. But I just loved it so much. And the amount of confidence that I got from that was just amazing. It felt great. But I can't look back. I don't even want to look back. Sometimes I go that far down the Instagram hole. I start thinking that I need to archive things and delete things. And I'm like, no, I need to.
I know, them. Right?
People need to see like where I came from. They need to see the come up, because this whole thing is just about the learning experience. And, you start somewhere, and if you stick with it long enough, you actually just become good at it.
Yeah. So your success didn't happen overnight, right? And it doesn't for anyone. But how did you get there? What was the hardest part of that growth for you?
I think I'm still working on the success part. I think I don't ever feel like I'm fully there. But if you would have told me, like a couple of years ago, this is where you would be, I'd be like, get out of here. Like, there's no way. I think the hardest part for me was dealing with the negativity at first.
Okay.
It's social media. I mean, the keyboard warriors, they are out there. Somebody is always going to give you their opinion whether it's warranted or not. And unfortunately, people do it in real life too. But in social media, I feel like it's a lot. It's a lot.
You're behind the closed door, proverbial closed door.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can really, as much as people like to say like, oh, I don't let the negativity bother me. I mean, it really just takes one comment to really dig. You start digging down like, oh my gosh, where is that coming from? Why do they feel that way? And I've learned over the years that you just cannot worry about what other people think. I never cared about it before. So why all of a sudden do I care about it now?
Yeah.
And that for me, once I realized that, it was like, that's it. I can just continue doing this. I don't care what people have to say, because if I think it looks good at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Right.
It really
it's the hair on your head, right?
Absolutely. Why do you care about what I'm doing with my hair? But believe me, people really, they've got some opinions.
Yeah. That we're out there with opinions, right? And,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm glad that you can block that out and focus on you and what makes you happy. So we see a lot of DIY content on the internet, some that works, some that's, well, TikTok worthy. What's your advice to consumers navigating this space of DIY on the socials?
So, well, here's the thing with that. There's a lot of people who do put content out, right? And you're kind of watching these videos where anybody's DIYing their hair and the end result is awful and the hair broke and people are going, oh no, like, what do I do now? Listen, we need those videos. Unfortunately, we actually need those videos. People need to see what can really happen to your hair.
True.
We've all gone through it. And at the end of the day, people are always going to be doing their hair alone by themselves. It's going to happen. As much as there's people who will never touch their own hair and will always walk into a salon, there's still, on the other coin, there's people who are going to do their own hair. And there's a great wealth of knowledge to be absorbed by that. You can watch these videos and see what not to do. So I think for a lot of consumers navigating it, really, it's just about finding people that you trust, finding people that you think are authentic, and look at the end result. Do you like, the type of information that they're providing you, and does it match, what they're saying?
True.
Can you see that it's actually good or or not so much?
I love that. Great advice. So you've also got, several brand deals, which kudos, congrats on that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you start to build those connections?
I was very persistent.
All right.
Very persistent. Social media is hard. It is not easy. People have this idea, oh, they're just another influencer, and you kind of get this like bad rap, but it really is hard. And I didn't necessarily ask for this. I put myself out there, and sometimes the brand deals come easily and they're like, hey, we want to work with you. And you're like, oh, wow, great. And then there's a lot of time that can go by and it's quiet and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I want this to keep happening. So how do we make this keep happening? And so there's a lot of work that goes on the back end, and I'm just persistent. I will reach out. I have no problem putting myself out there and asking for work.
Okay, amazing. So with the brand deals that you have, what is the type of content that brands are seeking from you from a creator perspective?
Most brands are asking for reviews. A lot of people just want me to either review it in my stories and just talk about their products and try them and see, what I think. And then hair tutorials using the products, showing how they work for my hair. Okay. But there's a lot of times where, I don't talk about certain people will send me stuff, I get sent stuff all the time. And there's a lot of things that I won't talk about if I don't think that it's great. So.
Yeah. No, and that's great advice too, because I think that relates back to your authenticity, right? So if you're one day talking about this spray and the next day talking about the exact type of formulation and spray, but another brand, it's like, well, wait a second. Where's that authenticity, which is true.
For sure. And I've worked really hard to build my audience. These people that I share myself with, have a lot of these people I've become very close with. I have lifelong internet friends, and they value my authenticity and I value them for sticking around. And so I never want to compromise that. And I think the day that I just start putting stuff out there just to put it out there, just to get a paycheck, is the day where they will see right through me and they'll be like, girl, what are you doing?
Right.
And that's not something, it's cringe. Oh, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, it is, because then it's like, you've taken so much time to build that audience that you want to be true to them. Absolutely. Too. So I'm guessing that there's brands that you have said no to that you just didn't believe in.
Oh, all the time. The time. I'll get emails, and I mean, just random stuff. And it's also hard to see like what's real and what's not. The second anybody asks you to pay to review something, it's an immediate no.
Okay.
Believe it or not, that happens more often than you think. But for the most part, the way it works is if somebody does reach out to me, or even if I reach out to a brand, I always just ask, hey, can you just send me some products? I'd love to try something out. I want to see how it works for me and if it's something that I think my audience would love. And I start from there. And if it's something that I really enjoy, I'll reach back out, and then a collaboration, we could talk about a collaboration. But other than that, I always need to try the products first. I have a lot.
Got it. I'm sure. I bet you've got a closet full, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have a whole office, but before I was like keeping everything in bins. So now I can have everything displayed nicely.
I love it. Was there a certain, follower or engagement threshold when brands started to really come to you or say, yes, we will send you X amount of product?
I used to think that I would need a certain amount of followers. I just kind of started putting my stuff out there. And eventually, I think some of the brands that I started working with early on really just saw me for being authentic. And I think that that's what a lot of brands want these days. They want someone who is a consumer, because I feel like I'm not a professional. I am just a girl who likes to do her hair at home. And I like hair products. And so that's what I'm sharing. And I think that when people see that, other brands see that, they jumped on it.
Yeah, you're the ultimate prosumer, right?
I hope so.
Pro.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
So how do you juggle it all? You've got brand deals, you're a mom. How are you still growing your channels? Like, how do you do that?
I don't know.
That's a little bit of the magic, right? Is like there's
I just keep going. Right now it's easy. My kids are a little bit older. They're 8 and 5. Okay. And so they're in school full time. But there was times when my kids were younger and I was just, all right, let me get a video. One's taking a nap and this one's occupied for a second and I can do this. And now that it's turned into full-time work, it's a lot nicer that they're in school. Yeah. So that definitely helps. The summers are hard.
Summers are hard.
But that's the time where I usually try to slow down a little bit anyway, and just kind of, because ultimately what I've wanted to do is be home with the kids. So it's I found something that I love to do, that I enjoy. And it also allows me to be home and have that freedom.
Yeah, that's wonderful, because those years go quickly.
They do. They absolutely do. Ugh.
So do you ever get any online negativity for being a DIYer versus a pro stylist? Walk me through that.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that it's, hate or, but people have opinions, and I can completely understand the professional stylist aspect of it. These people, somebody saw something online, they colored their hair, they messed it up, and now they're like, help. And, they're calling their hairstylist, and the stylist is like, well, what did you do? I saw somebody online doing it and I thought I could do it myself. And now they're in a world of trouble, and now they're a lot of money out trying to fix this. So for me, I never, like I said before, I never try to say that I'm a professional. And anything that I do, I do my best to educate myself before I educate my audience. So I would hope that anybody who is trying to DIY comes across my account first. I hope that they find my account so that they can gain a little bit of knowledge as well. But I will always tell people, go see a professional. I work hand in hand with these professionals, because I'm constantly recommending people to go to the salon. If you don't know what you're doing and you are not comfortable, please do not. Please go see a professional.
I love that too. So what is a top tip for someone who wants to grow their social by being a DIYer in the hair space?
I think, honestly, just putting yourself out there. A lot of people will have reservations on whether or not they should post something because you're worried about negative feedback that you're going to get. And as the sooner you realize that it's always going to be there, if you expect it, just expect it, because it's no matter what, you could have the most perfect buttery blonde hair. It could be beautiful. And somebody's going to come across your page and be like, that is terrible. What is that? That looks awful on you. And then someone else might think like you're the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
It's all very opinionated. And the quicker you get over that, then the more you can actually enjoy being online and being on social media. So I would say just put yourself out there and be authentically you. Please be authentically you.
That is the key word today, authentic,
Yes.
right? We love it. So with all of your experience behind you, what does the future look like for you?
Ooh, I hope to continue creating because it's just what I love to do. I love doing this and I love creating on Instagram, different hair tutorials. I'm currently trying to like grow my hair out.
Okay.
I don't know that we're going to get that far. I feel like I've been trying to grow it out for 4 years.
All right.
But right now I'm like the furthest that I've been in a while. So I feel really confident about that. But I hope to eventually come out with a line of hair products. I think that for me would be like a dream come true. So this year I'm really focusing on products and ingredients because I really want to educate myself further. Like I kind of got the hair thing down as far as like how to do the hair. Now I really want to make sure that the things that I'm putting in my hair are something that I really believe in.
Okay. I love it. Spoiler alert. We're on the lookout now. So you talked about your look and how you're growing it out, but you're famous for going blonder and blonder. But how do you maintain the integrity of your hair?
So there was a time where I was not maintaining any integrity at all. And I was just coloring and I just wanted to do all the things all of the time. And I sort of like got that out of my system. I do think that having short pixie hair it allows you to really play more. It really allows you to color more often. You damage it a little bit. All right, cut off the ends, or just keep up with it. But I do believe that having short hair has allowed me to really be creative.
Yeah, and I love that. What inspired the initial short hair look?
I was in a funk. I was in a funk and I was getting tired. I get bored easily. That's why, and I've been surprised that I'm allowing myself to kind of grow out my hair at this time. I'm like, I must be growing up a little bit. I don't know. But I get bored easily and I'm super impulsive. It is so hard for me. The second I have an idea in my head, I will fixate on it and it does not feel good until I execute. And so that has always been a factor for me, like my impulsive. But it's also what I love about myself too, because there's so many different things that I've done that I'm like, wow, like if I really didn't allow myself to do that, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, right. You put yourself out there, as you said in the beginning.
Absolutely.
So any hot take tips for maintaining short hair?
I would say, well, I don't know. I don't know if I give the best advice. I use the hot tools. I use all the products. Short hair is hard to maintain. Short hair is high maintenance. And a lot of people believe, oh, I'm going to cut my hair off so I don't have to do anything to it.
Right.
So they actually cut it off and realize how much work it really is. Waking up with the crazy pixie bed head. I can't just smooth it over and put it up in a ponytail. No, a lot of people are like, oh, I got to wash it now or I got to wet it. So I wear a silk sleeping cap to bed, and that really helps like maintain my hair to have it looking great the next day. And just finding really great products. K18 is has been a game changer for me, and it really allows me to like push my hair a little bit more. And it has also saved my hair a lot of times as well. So.
Yeah, that's the newest miracle product. We love it at TheTease.
I love
actually have the founder on as well to talk about the innovation. So kudos to the K18 team.
They are amazing.
Sure. They're awesome. Okay, so what should we look to your channels for next from a look perspective? You're growing it out. Do you want to give any secrets away?
So I don't know. I get asked a lot. A lot of my diehard Pixie followers are like, oh my gosh, you're growing it out. Just cut it off. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to compromise what I want to do because somebody else wants to see me with short hair.
Right.
Grow this account around short hair. But at some point, all good things must come to an end.
You heard it.
Who knows? Listen, I don't know. I may end up cutting it in 2 weeks and then we're like, oh, here we are again. But for right now, I feel like I really just want to grow it out. How long I'm going to grow it out to, I don't know. I would love to have the famous Bixie Brianna
yes.
Cisneros, who came up with this amazing. I met her on set. I was on a Well Color Charm set. That I shot a campaign with them, which was like a dream come true. And I met Brown on there. She's like the most amazing.
She's amazing.
Ever.
Agree.
And yeah, I would love to have a Pixie if I could just get my hair that length.
All right, we'll be watching your channels to see if that impulse kicks in and you can get there.
Yes, so root for me, please.
Okay, to wrap up talking about your look, is there a favorite that you've rocked over the years?
Oh, that is hard. I enjoy all of them. I really do, because like I said, when I think of something, it's usually because I just see myself with it, and I just want to transform myself. I think the one that I've enjoyed the most, that was the most surprising, was my micro pixie, where I basically had like no hair. I mean, the short, tiny little bangs. And I just had the most love for that. I would get the most compliments, not on social media, but just every day in person. I would leave the house, go grocery shopping, and people were like, wow, like that cut's amazing on you. Who did your hair? I'm like, me. And they're like, what, really? So I was like, yeah, so it's always been a talking point, but definitely the micro pixie. That was the most fun.
I think, people envy, other people who can rock the short hair, because it's a bold step. It's a bold move, right? Because you cut it off and you're like, oh no, this could take years and years to grow out.
Nothing to hide.
So you always look and envy and are like, looks so good on her. But you don't know if you could do it.
There's so many, exactly. And there's so many people, like my DMs are filled with like women saying, I want to get the confidence to cut off my hair. Like, how do you do that? I'm like, you just do it. If you want it bad enough, go for it. Honestly, you're never going to know until you actually do it. And it's all about confidence at the end of the day. A pixie cut requires confidence. I will always say that. It
does.
You cannot be like this timid person and feel comfortable. You're not going to feel the best. You're not going to feel comfortable. You've just got to like rock it. And it grows. It grows.
I agree. And it grows. Amazing. It's been so fun getting to know about your journey. Now we're going to move into a little something we call the Tease Quick Takes. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. What was your first ever product that you owned, whether beauty product or hair product? And I feel like this is going to be a good one from you. No pressure.
Aquanet. Aquanet. Yes.
I love it.
For everything. I mean, you spray it down to get that real hard hold.
The crunch.
Probably broke off my hair so much as a kid with using that. But yeah, it was Aquanet for sure.
All right. The OG Aquanet. Is it still around? I don't even know.
I don't know. I hope not.
The smell evokes some sort of like.
I know. Who knows how many health problems I have now because.
Yeah. Inhaling the Aquanet. We love that. All right. Are you superstitious? And if so, about what?
Completely, and about everything.
Okay.
My mother was superstitious, and it's like, I don't know if it's European culture and that's just that it's in our blood, but I am superstitious about everything. I don't even want to know about what other people are superstitious about because it's something new that I'll gain and I don't want it. I don't claim that energy.
We need to move on then. I will not share. No.
Please don't.
Okay, this is going to be a good one too. Who would you have play a biopic of your life? Is there another pixie lover out there?
Well, you know what? I've been stopped in public and people have asked for my autograph and I just don't really see it, but Demi Lovato. Yeah. They were like, oh my gosh, right. Demi. And I'm like, what? No, not me, but thank you. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous. And then she went short and I was like, yes, girl. It looks amazing.
I see it. Now that you say it, I see it. And that's a good one.
She's beautiful. Thank you.
She is. And so are you. What do you consider the ultimate comfort food?
Probably my mom's homemade chicken soup.
Okay.
It's amazing because it's homemade and it comes from her. And it's just like, it's the best.
It's like just home.
It's like a fluffy pillow. It's like,
Have you mastered the recipe yourself?
I have tried, and it comes out the same. It's good, but it's like my mom didn't make it, so it's not as good,
You're right. It needs both. It needs mom and the recipe.
Absolutely.
All right. Last question. If you were on a deserted island and can bring only 3 beauty products, what are you bringing?
Okay. If I am on a deserted island, I am trying to get off of that island. So I'm not worried about how I look, how presentable I am. Like, I could care less. I'm going to be grabbing some SPF.
Okay.
I am going to make sure that I face wash to keep my face clean, and probably K18 to maintain my hair health while I am in all of that sun.
Because why not,
Let's
right?
make it help. Because I don't plan on staying there.
That's amazing. You will look a little sun-kissed
Right.
with a clean face
Right.
and some luscious locks because,
I took a little vacation. I was deserted for a bit, but I am back.
You're back. I love it. All right. Tell everybody where they can find you on all of the socials, because if you're seeking a little DIY inspo, they're going to seek you out.
So you can follow me at Kassia Barbo on Instagram. And then I also am trying to keep up with the cool kids. So I am on TikTok as well at the Kassia Barbo.
Ooh, I like that. Well, Kassia, this was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom and your journey with all of us at Volume Up by TheTease.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved it. Thank you.